So we're in a really tough spot with choosing how to attack here. The Strider has Summoning Sickness, but we can attack with Illusionist and the Outrider, but then we'd be dead to removal on the backswing. How do you choose to attack here? This is a close one. Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. We don't have a ton of Dominaria United drafts left here on the channel, but we are playing best of 3. We're having lots of fun here on the channel. I know I'm having lots of fun. We're not necessarily winning a whole lot, but I hope you're having a good time with me. That's really all we're here for, having a good time. You know, we're at the point of the format where some of us have kind of checked out a little bit. Some of us are still a little bit interested, trying to look towards Brothers War. We only got a week or two left till previews either start and or finish. So let's finish strong here with the best of 3 draft of Dominaria United, starting with Neshoba Brawler. This is one of the best uncommons in the entire set. So is Electrostatic Infantry, but it's much easier to play a Brawler. I think the domain decks come together a little bit better and a little bit easier, because if you take Infantry, there's a pretty good chance Blue-Red gets cut. Blue-Red's been getting cut in most of my drafts nowadays. I didn't play it at the very beginning. I played it a lot in the middle, and then not a lot recently because people have been cutting it out. But Neshoba Brawler is one of the best uncommons in the entire set. So we're definitely going to go ahead and take that here. And now what do we follow Neshoba Brawler with? The rare's a dud. All 3 uncommons go in very specific decks that I don't know that we will be right now. And then if we look at all the commons, there's a land, which honestly might be the pick. There's also an Urborg Repossession, and I think I'm actually going to take the Repossession here. The kicker's green. We're incentivized to be green with Brawler. So I think I'm going to take the first Repossession over land. If this were like some bad white card, this would be a very easy Repossession, but the fact that there's a land here makes this relatively close. But I'll take the first copy of Repossession and see how we can go from there. Now there's Relic of Legends, a couple of lands, Bite Down, Gaia's Might. Brawler leans toward a little bit of a domain aggro plan, and Gaia's Might's very good in that deck. But the thing is, if we kind of lean a little bit more controlling with the rest of our picks, then Gaia's Might's not at its best. Bite Down has been a card I think I've undervalued a little bit. I haven't taken that card very highly, and I probably should be. And if there was a black-green land here, I'd probably take that. But you know what? I think I want to try to see if I can get into green, maybe even green-red aggro domain could be pretty good. Relic of Legends, we don't know that we're going to be able to use this kind of thing at all yet. So let's go ahead and take the Gaia's Might and see where that goes. Okay, no lands in this pack. And honestly, not a lot of great cards. There's a Vineshaper Prodigy as the only green card. There's a Talus Lookout as probably the next best card. I have really not seen this card cast on either side of the battlefield yet, because Black-Red is not really a great deck in the format. Griffin Protector could be good in go wide aggressive decks, but you know what? I'm going to take the Vineshaper Prodigy, stay green, and just feel things out. Okay, now we have a Wooded Ridgeline and a Contaminated Aquifer. I think I'm going to take the Contaminated Aquifer over the Ridgeline here and over a Scout the Wilderness. Gardener doesn't really do domain things for us. And over at Espionage. Reason being is because I mentioned that a green-black land in that other pack, but if we're going to be heavy green-based domain, having non-green dual lands is pretty important because you have a ton of forests in your deck already. You have a lot of green sources. So if your dual lands can touch 2 of the other domain basic land types, then that goes a long way. Like, for example, if we go Contaminated Aquifer on turn 1 and then play Forest on turn 2 into Brawler, we have a 3/3 trample right on turn 2. So sometimes that's all you really need. Sten, Paranoid Partisan, no thanks. Timely Interference, and we got a bunch of red cards here. So I mentioned red-green domain. It's not a bad deck. Scout the Wilderness is good if we're going domain control, and Warbrute and Kavu are decent if we're going red-green domain aggro. So I think I'm going to take the Kavu here and kind of hedge between domain control and domain aggro and see which one might be better for us. Okay, unfortunately, there's another Aquifer. Now I wish I would have taken the Ridgeline, but hindsight's 2020. I don't care too much about Twinferno, Fire NATO, even Crusher. I mean, I really don't care about many of these cards. Smash to Dust is not a bad sideboard card, and maybe that's better than taking the second Contaminated Aquifer. But I think I'm actually just going to land on the Aquifer. Smash to Dust is a card you can get quite late if you want it. And we are just getting some really bad packs here. These are all cards I just really don't want to put in my deck, except Shore Up. I mean, that's like the only card I'm willing to put into a deck. So it's like the only, except maybe Vivisector if you're desperate. So I'm going to take the only card that I'm willing to play here. And now there's a Pixie Illusionist. Again, all of these cards are just whatever. I don't really care too much about any of them. I mean, Elfhame Worm's not horrible. But I'm going to take Illusionist here. Coral Colony to kind of maybe leave an out for defenders. There's also a Scout the Wilderness, a Soaring Drake. There's a couple of scouts coming around. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the colony and see if defenders kind of comes around for us a little bit. Relic. I don't mind Artillery Blast, but white is the only color that we're not right now. So I'm just going to take Relic in case we're desperate for fixing. I have had a problem with not having enough removal spells lately, so I'll go ahead and take Fire NATO in the event that we need one. Okay, and now we see the Phasing of Zhalfir. And this is a really tough card to evaluate because I don't exactly know how good it is. In a controlling deck, wiping the entire board but giving them all 2/2s is like not outstanding. There's also just a Terra Sunder, which is probably going to be my pick here. There's a Tangled Islet, which is what I would love to have. Zaro Janin has been fine. Root Wall is also quite good, but I think this is a pretty clear Terra Sunder in that pack. Vidalian Hexcatcher, no. We have Tolarian Geyser versus Essence Scatter versus Gaia's Might here. So what kind of deck do I think I am? I think I'm blue-green. I think I'm pretty clearly blue-green so far, which would mean Geyser is probably the best. Geyser's among the best 2 or 3 commons in this set. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the Geyser here. And now we have between a Lightning Strike and another Geyser. Well, I said 2 or 3 because Lightning Strike's among the other one of the 2 or 3. But I think we are more clearly blue-green at the moment. And there's no guarantee we're going to be able to play these red cards necessarily. And Geyser and Strike are very, very close to each other. I'd love a Sunlit Marsh here, but not when there's Geyser and Strike in the pack. So I'm going to take Geyser because I think there's a pretty good chance we play that. And there's not an outstanding chance we end up with enough fixing to play Lightning Strike. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Root Walla here. There's also a Hydromancer, and maybe this wheels, but I doubt it. We only have 5 creatures. We kind of have to get a little higher on the creature count, and I really don't necessarily want to play this one or this one. So we have 3 creatures. So I'm going to take the Root Walla here. We're going to have to find some lands as well. And as soon as I say that, there's a Frostfist Strider in the pack. I'm going to take the Strider and regret my life for not taking Beachfront is what I'm going to do. Yeah, don't hate me. Okay, Founding the Third Path, Sea Scavenger, all these cards kind of suck. I'm going to take Outrider here. And maybe we find a couple of red sources. I don't really care about any of these blue or green cards. I'm going to take this Outrider and see if we can splash it. Now there's a Strength of the Coalition, but there is just a Sacred Peaks here, and I think I'm going to have to take the Sacred Peaks. We're not really a Strength of the Coalition deck. It's a very good card, but that's not really this deck right now. So I'm going to take the Sacred Peaks. And then I get a Talus Lookout. So I think blue-green base splashing maybe a couple of cards here is probably where I'm going to go with this. We already have one shore up, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Lookout here. Shadow Prophecy is not another card that's not a bad splash, but let's go ahead and take Lookout. Phasing of Zhalfir Wheels. I mean, I could try it out. We're at the point where trying things out in the format is not... It's kind of strange to be trying things out still, but there's also just a negate for the side. I'm just going to take Phasing. I don't know how good it is. Gaia's Might, Timely Interference with the Sacred Peaks. I don't think we're looking like much of a Gaia's Might deck. We have one Trampler so far. I guess we have a Talus Lookout for flying. I guess I'll take a second Gaia's Might here. Snare Spinner for the board. Rare Drafting. Timely Interference, okay. And Sea Scavenger if we're desperate. Alright, and then in pack 3, we see another Tolarian Geyser. We also see a Rona's Vortex. Both of these are quite good. There's a Rada, which goes very well with Relic of Legends. I don't need another Gaia's Might. I would play another Shore Up probably if this one wheels, but I think this is between Geyser and Vortex, and I think I'm gonna... You know what? I'm actually going to take my first Vortex over my third Geyser. Is that correct? I don't know if that's correct. It's very close. If it was my first copy of either of them, I probably would have taken the Geyser. But it wasn't. So now we have Essence Scatter versus Root Walla versus a few lands here. And this is really annoying because I definitely want both of these cards. But boy, do I want a Haunted Mire quite badly. And maybe we're lucky enough to wheel. I would play Aquifer, Grotto, Cut Down, Scatter, Sojourner, and Root Walla on the wheel. So that's 6 cards that could wheel out of this pack for us for pick 10. So I'm going to take the land because we really need it. And then there's another Outrider. There's a Scout the Wilderness. There's an Impulse. The other Scout the Wildernesses were wheeling. I would not mind running a single Scout the Wilderness in this deck, and we need a little bit more threats and way to reach damage over. So I'm going to take another Outrider and hope we get a couple lands here. I don't think this is a Maria deck. There's an Essence Scatter versus Vine Wall versus third Gaia's Might. I don't think we need any more Gaia's Mights. I'm not even sure we'll play 2. This one's really, really close here. Between Essence Scatter and Vine Wall. I really want the Vine Wall, but the thing is we don't have great ways to use it after it's hit the battlefield. Gonna take Essence Scatter as just a good card here. There's a lot of really good black-white. I mean, Destroy Evil, LSO Core, Extinguish the Light, all great cards. No lands, except Yavimaya Coast, which I think is going to be my pick to help me with my mana. It's not a domain card, but we're going to have enough blue and green domain that'll be fine. This could help us run like a mountain or something for Maria's Outriders. So let's go ahead and take the land here. The Weather Seed Treaty, pick 6. Thank you very much. I would love another Prodigy or a Root Walla, but we're taking the Weather Seed Treaty here. This card is great. So thank you, thank you, thank you. How many creatures do we have? 9 creatures for Bite Down. If this were any other land, if this were red-green, I would take it. I mean, this is basically any other land except the white one, I would take it. But we already have double Aquifer. There's an Espionage as well. I'm actually going to take the Espionage over the Bite Down. I don't think the Bite Down's going to be great in our deck. Man, Black-White was the deck at this seat, wasn't it? Okay, we'll take a Worm, and I suppose it's a playable in our deck. Here's pick 9 with another Shore Up for all of our non-creatures. Another Guy's Might for all of our non-creatures. Another Gardener that I don't really even want to play the first. And an Elfhame Worm number 2. Guess we'll take, and let's see what we wheel here. I guess the Sojourner. Okay, well, that's fine. Impede Momentum could... I doubt it, but we'll keep it here. Survey is not a good card. And we only ended up with one white source here. So do we need to play like Relic of Legends or a Deathbloom Gardener? Our domain is only ever going to get as high as... Well, it could get to 5 if we get the peaks. Currently have 13 creatures. Alright, we'll see how to build this here. We've got 5 lands, so a few cuts to make. Alright, so we have a Deathbloom Gardener and a Relic of Legends here. So playing these 3 5-drops seems okay, because ramping from 3 to 5 is pretty good. So playing double Elfhame Worm's not too bad. This is probably going to be at least a 5-drop in our deck. So we have some decent top end here. And with double Guy's Might, double Elfhame Worm, that's a decent little plan too. So timing interference is kind of sticking out. Sea Scavenger, definitely don't need that. And now we'd need 2 more cuts here. How good is Phasing of Zhalfir? You know what? I want to try it, and maybe we can sideboard it out, or maybe after game or match 1 we can just change the deck to not have it, but I want to try it here. So I think Gardener and Relic are important for our mana base. We have 2 Mary's Outriders. We have 2 white pips on Geyser Splash. We have a black pip here, a blue pip here, a black pip here, a green one here, a green one here. I mean, there's a lot of extra pips we need. And this Relic, like I mentioned, is very good for getting to these 5-drops. Shore Up could be good for protecting our creatures. I don't really like Gardener, but again, it's important for our game plan. You know what? I'm cutting Zhalfir. It just doesn't really fit in this deck. I don't really think it's what we're trying to do. And then one more cut here. Maybe a second Gaia's Might. We're not super aggressive, and having access to 1 is okay. But a second one, we have double Elfhame Worm and a Brawler that have Trample. But having 1 is okay. So I think we can play it like this. And let's see our mana. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8 blue. That's okay. Plus the Treaty, plus Relic of Legends, plus the Gardener, plus the Illusionist. So we have 8 blue. We have 3 red, and I think that's okay, again, with both of these, with all 3 of these cards here. We have 5, 6, 7 green. I'd like to get up to 8 green. Which means I would have to cut a blue or a red to do that. I think we can cut a red. We only have 2 red sources here, but we do have Gardener, we have Weatherseed Treaty, and we have Relic of Legends to ensure that we can cast this card. So it's kind of like we have 5 red sources. Kind because we need another green if we're going to play all these 2-drops. So, yeah, I think I'll run it back like this. And we have some decent-ish sideboard options. We're going against aggro cards like Tide Turner, Scavenger, Coral Colony, Snare Spinner. Are all pretty good. Fire NATO is another removal spell if we need to splash it. All that kind of stuff. So, yep, we'll take this here. And we'll hop into the best of 3 queue and see how it can do. We do not have a ton of trophies this format, and I'm not necessarily sure this is another trophy deck, but I have been hovering just slightly above average the entire format, never really spiking too many things. I don't think I have a single 0-3, so we're kind of hovering in the 55 to 60% win percentage for the format, and you know what? I'm not here trying to fool you all to make you think that I'm a professional Magic player, because I'm not, but I'm hoping you're enjoying the content that I create, because that's what I'm here to do, because I'm having fun, and I hope you are too. So, we have Geyser on 3. We're on the draw. We have Strider eventually. Scatter on 2. So we'll keep this here. Hopefully no bomb 2-drop that we can't counter. It's not necessarily a bomb, but... Let's see what they have now. Are they going to miss a land drop? No. Okay. They know we have Essence Scatter now. We're debating this for too long. I'm going to let it resolve. And then I'll go ahead and bounce. I'll bounce this one. Doesn't necessarily matter which one we bounce here. So next turn we play tap land, hold up Essence Scatter, and the following turn we play Strider. Just have to dodge one bomb creature here for a moment. Okay, another 2-drop? No. Double Outrider is a bit awkward in this hand with no red source yet. Okay, they know we have Essence Scatter, so, I mean, I'm probably firing it off on anything here. But instead, they're just going to counter our Frostfist Strider. Can we afford to not play this? We're going to go to 8 if we don't play it. And if we do play it, it gets countered and we go to 8 anyway. And then they get to resolve something. And then we have no answer. So, as much as I'm just putting them on Essence Scatter, and it's very possible they don't have it, but I think they do. The problem is, they're in the driver's seat. They don't have to do anything. They could just pass over and over and over again, and we can't really do anything about it. Yeah, so, I mean, if they keep doing this, obviously I regret this now, but God, we're going to go to 4? Alright, go ahead and counter that. Then we go to 4 anyway, and then we lose, so I'm not sure what I could have done there. I could have done that a turn earlier. Now they get to play whatever they want, and it just happens a turn later. We have 4 points down. That's frustrating. I don't know, man. And with that, we have no answer. So, a quick little loss there. Thank you very much. Blue-black control. With 2 drops that beat us down. Guy's Might seems pretty bad, because targeting our own creatures is not a good plan. Shore Up seems pretty good. So a card like Snare Spinner Colony blocks their derpy little 2-drops. Yeah, I'll just make that one change. Get the guy's might out of here. Let's see if I can clean up the play a little bit. Seemed too easy for our opponent. We just like never really did anything there, and I think it was mostly my fault. All right, into game 2 here. We'll be on the play this time. All right, we'll start with 2, and then quickly go on to match 2. We'll start with, not 2, we'll start with 6 here. And then not have any plays, so feels bad. And their beatdown deck is in full swing again. Sojourner. We find a black. No, we don't have a swamp in the deck, so. Can't even kick that yet, so. And if they pass, then they're going to counter whatever we try to play. Gosh, they're like blue-black control with beatdown aspects. And what are we trying to keep up here? We're trying to keep up a green. So I'll do this. Why does this let me cast it if I can't kick it? Exile target artifact or enchantment. Well, there are no artifacts or enchantments anywhere. It doesn't say up to 1, so you have to have a target for it. Alright, another Toxic Abomination. They are missing land drop, so at least there's that. Man, I really want to have shore up protection for one of these two, but I can't not play them. So I'll just play this here and see if it survives. Braids. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so now we can hold shore up here. I'm not going to play the Illusionist when we can protect our creatures. Rona, okay. Go ahead and play this. That was wrong. I meant to kick Illusionist. Okay. Definitely meant to kick Illusionist and still hold up Shore up there, so... That's a bit of a mistake, but it's not the end of the world. Would very much like to have a black source to kick this. And Illusionist kind of gives that to us, in a way. Okay, that resolves. We just have no black source, so this isn't doing anything in our hand right now. And I guess we'll get rid of Illusionist because Repossession can get it back. Although we don't have a black, so... Guys, this is just so awkward. Now we have a black. I guess we can attack with at least one of these here. Because we can get one or both of them back. They do have priority, so it's something over here, but we do have Shore Up. I'm going to try to start getting a little aggressive, changing things up. Just sitting here doing nothing is not accomplishing anything for anyone, so... Let's do some attacks here. And if they go for like a tribute to Urborg for -2/-2, then we can shore it up and make blocks a little awkward for them. We can still kick an Urborg Repossession after any one of these die. Okay. We'll see what they have now. Is it negate? Is it protect the negotiators? Do they have a counter spell? Is it a removal spell? Okay. Whatever it was, I didn't want to use it. Okay. No blocks. I think this is better as an attacker right now. Featherseed Treaty. Can also skip right to the third chapter of this. Give this trample. +3/+3 in trample. It'll be a 7-powered trampler. I'm still suspect of a counterspell here. And because we have a little bit of developing to do, I don't think I'm going to attack this turn. The treaty makes it very awkward for our... I mean, the treaty still lets us hold up the activation on Rootwalla. And Shore Up. So this can be a good blocker. So I just don't know what they have over there. They're choosing not to use it every time. They have 7 cards in hand, so they have something. Micromancer. Okay, let's see what they find, if it's Vortex or Shore Up here. Could be Repossession as well, I suppose. Vortex, okay. Okay. So my guess is they are going to use Rona's Vortex on whatever we target with the Weatherseed Treaty here. So we're going to shore that up and then probably use this on Rootwalla. That way we can have it get +3/+3 from this, +3/+3 from its activation, and +1/+1 from Shore Up, and then it'll be like a 9/9 trample. Yeah, so they're definitely trying to use Rona's Vortex here. Good thing we have Shore Up, and then this can deal 3 damage too, so we have some things here. What I'm worried about is they don't kick this, and then they have a response to our Shore Up, which would not be great. But if they go to kick it, then that's good news for us. Okay, I'm not going to play the Sacred Peaks right now because they know we have Outrider in hand, and this represents 3 damage right now, but they could go to 1, then we could play Peaks, play Outrider, and then possibly win here. So let's go to combat, and let's attack here. Really hoping they just go for a kicked Vortex here. I mean, that's kind of... that would basically be game if they kick it, but if they don't, then they have something else up their sleeve. Alright, and they did. Let's let their instant sorcery thing resolve. Discard a card. And we'll go ahead and shore up here. I'm not sure we'll win. Right now we have a 9/9 trample, so... right? Yeah, it'll end up being a 9/9, so both of these will die. I guess there was an argument to playing the Sacred Peaks first, because then this would have gone up to a 10/10. But then they could have blocked differently to prevent even more damage from Outrider. So we're going to put them to 1 now. They did top a card. I don't like that. Okay. Or we just didn't have the mana to do it all, and I should have counted. That was a mistake. Like, a lot. Jeez. Oh, it's been rough. It's been rough lately. I don't know what's going on. Oof. So the line last turn was very clearly to play Sacred Peaks pre-combat. That way this has the buff, because we weren't going to be able to play this anyway. And now they kick that and get rid of our Espionage, or get rid of our Outrider anyway. However, if they don't have a single black or single blue removal spell for Illusionist, we do have a 2-turn clock. Oh, jeez. Man, we blew this one, didn't we? I guess either way with what we did, we never would have cast this because they made us discard it anyway. So if we had played this pre-combat, this was never getting cast in any line that we took there. So the only thing we missed out on is 1 extra point of damage, I guess, out of all of that. Alright, so we're going to do this. They're going to kill it. And then they're going to go to 2. There's the tribute, but, I mean, what else are we doing here? Alright, one time. 5 cards in hand, no answer to Illusionist, please? Against decks like this, I wish I had another shore up. So in game 3, we're definitely going to have to remember that they have espionage and sabotage. So we're going to have to keep lands in hand that aren't relevant, so we can discard those. This could represent a kicked Urborg repossession to gain 2 life now. Which would put them out of lethal range. If they haven't conceded already, that means they're not dead. They have an answer here of some sort. Okay, well now they conceded, so apparently they didn't. All right, pretty loose play there in game 2, but I gotta shore that up. Pun intended. Okay. So lots of removal. There's an Urg, there's a Micromancer, there's a Rona. There's a couple of early drops. They're playing things like Vivisector and Toxic A-Bomb and Splatter Goblin. So we have to make sure that we don't die to those creatures. So things like Coral Colony. Tide Turner is good against Splatter Goblin. And by good, I mean it trades. It's good against Vivisector. It bounces. It's not good with our deck because there's really nothing we really need it for. Same thing with Snare Spinner, but they didn't have any flyers, so it's not very relevant. It's just a 2-mana 1/3. Gaia's Might is not good against them. Timely Interference. Is that good? Not really. I guess this is probably fine to run it back as, right? I think so. I think we'll just run it back like this, beyond the draw. See how it goes in game 3. Alright, they're on the play, but we do have Terra Sunder on 4, Gardener on 3. We just have to hope they don't have those couple of 2-drops, but now we have Geyser if we need it. Okay, so no 2-drop? 2-drop. Another one? Man, their deck is just annoying. They're playing these bad 2-drops, but they're the things that are killing us. And then they have decent late game. So, alright, well, Coral Colony isn't bad, but now it's off curve. I could Geyser this thing. I could just play Gardener and then next turn play Worm. But if I play Gardener and they kill it, that's just so bad for us too. I'm going to do this. Gardener is probably a contender for things I should have sideboarded out, to be honest, against this deck. Micromancer, yeah. Vortex. Yep. I guess we do this and see if they want to Vortex our Brawler. But at the very least, this prevents some damage. Yeah, they're just playing derpy creatures, but the problem is these derpy creatures are just kind of getting the job done because they have so many removal spells. So I don't want them to vortex any of these three creatures here, so I'm going to play an off-curve... I'm going to make an off-curve play here and play Gardener. And just... I have to see where this vortex is going to go. Putting stops here so they think we might have shore up. Okay. It's probably one of these two. It's probably just this. I think I'll do this one here. And then... Still gonna bluff the shore up. I would like them to use this on this now, because this has already gotten its value. This I would like to stick around so I can hit them with it. And so it can die and not get put on the bottom of our library. Tolarian Terror, it's not the end of the world, I don't think. Do we need this land or can we hold it to protect against sabotage? Right now I'd like to do Lookout. So I'll play Lookout. And I don't think we need this land right now, so I'm going to hold it this turn. There's a chance they vortex our Gardener. Well, we don't need to do it anymore because we are still getting priority because of Terra Sunder, so... Playing around, or they're probably playing around shore up quite a bit here. Sengir Connoisseur, that's an annoying one on this board. Those are interesting attacks. Yeah, I could just eat it with the Outrider, and I don't think they have anything in their hand. Am I okay with this trading with Connoisseur here? Probably so, because I can get that and Worm back. So... let's offer the trade, and if they don't, I'm probably just going to Terra Sunder the Connoisseur. Alright. I'm going to hold both of these to protect against sabotage again here. I would like to have another land on the battlefield, because the turn that we do this, I'd like to be able to play one of the cards that we get back. But getting sabotaged and having to discard this would be very, very bad, and we know they have it in their deck. So it's not like I'm playing against a card that I've never seen before. I know they have it. And there it is. So that's why I did exactly what I just did. Now, if they have another one, I mean, they have another one, but we've only seen one. We've seen the espionage and the sabotage in the first 2 games. So, as far as what we've seen, that's all the discard that we know that they have. That was a bit of a mistake by tapping out there, because I don't really need to mill them. Yeah, okay. So they are playing around shore up quite a bit here. All right, Treaty or Outrider? I think Outrider is better here because Treaty against Vortex with that last, the last chapter on this is just going to get basically countered by the Vortex. I'm going to take the Outrider. Put them to 5. Pass the turn here. Still bluff shore up. Another terror. Alright, well I didn't see these two in the first 2 games, but they're not doing outstanding work here. So there's a line we can take to win this game in 3 turns, and that's to attack with both Outriders. They eat them both, we return them both, and then we cast them to kill them. But that is very easily interrupted by Essence Scatters and things, which would be very bad for us. We have not seen any more discard from them, so I'm going to play this land. I'm going to go ahead and cast this on their Abomination? Then they effectively can't play it anymore. And Pixie Illusionist. It's a threat in the air. They have to get rid of it. I'm going to make them answer this. Maybe use a vortex on it or something. Oh, come on. We don't care about all your 16 trillion products that you put out literally every single day requiring maintenance. Come on. It's like you get a notification like literally every day that something else new is releasing, and I have no idea what it is, and nor do I really care. Wizards, you're a piece of work sometimes. Not sponsored. Not sponsored by Wizards. If you couldn't tell. We could get back a Talus Lookout here. That's fine, I think. Sure. Don't really need these too much anymore. Let's first go to combat. Get in here. 5-turn clock. Deal with it. Cut down. Okay. I guess we take the peaks. Up our domain count here. And now a single Marius Outrider is lethal. We have seen an Essence Scatter from them in game 1. So, we have to be a little bit wary of that. If they sack a creature here, I'm probably going to sack Coral Colony. I just don't want them to get any more cards. The fact that they have Essence Scatter means if we go for this Marius Outrider line, it's so bad if it doesn't work. It's just horrible. In fact, I need them to be tapped out, really, is what I need them to be. If they only have one blue or one mana up, I would go for that line, obviously. But as long as they have Essence Scatter mana up, I can't go for that line, because if I go for it and they counter the Outrider, then we just, like, threw away an Outrider or two and wasted, like, 2 turns of the game. Oh, darn. Well, now they know we don't have Shore Up. So... don't want them to get any of those spells back. It's a really close game here. Now they're at 7. Now an Outrider doesn't do it. They are tapped out, though, but an Outrider doesn't kill them. It's a really tight game. It's really well played by them, too. We could just repossession back something like Talus Lookout and Illusionist and just try to get him with flyers here? No, not what I meant to do. Black, green, red. Repossession, Talus Lookout, and probably Pixie Illusionist. And play the Lookout. Now they have to answer that. We also have another 3/3 flyer coming. The Outriders don't matter anymore. We've used our repossession, so we don't have to worry about that line. But now we're going to Flyers line. Because we know they only had... Last turn they had 4 cards in their hand and 3 were creatures. So... That's why I took the line here that I did. And Vohar. So next turn they can get a removal spell for Lookout or Illusionist. But we're just going to keep hitting him with flyers here. Yeah, so they're going to kill one of these. So we're going to put them to 4. They're going to kill the other one, and then they're still not necessarily dead. But they're going to use their whole turn to do it. They could do cut down, and then kill the Lookout, and then still have potential something from their hand. Like they can get cut down and kill the Lookout. They could also get... Oh, they can get... These won't do it. They have to have something better than that. So they could get Tribute or Cut Down or Vortex to get rid of either of these 2 creatures here, and that's probably what they have to do. You know what? Win or lose this game. These are these are the matches that I enjoy. Like win or lose, we've had a good time in this one. We've had really close matches. They've played well. We've played probably slightly less than well, but we're still in it here. So let's see which one they get. Cut down. Okay, so they're going to cut down the Lookout. See what we can find off the top. So, in all the times we've used Lookout here, both the times it died, we looked at 4 lands. So, it's been great. At least we cleared the top of our deck for the next draw. Yeah, no blocks. Writhing Necromass. Yeah. Okay, now if we attack with this, we're dead to a removal spell. If we don't attack with this, we're chumping. And they have to use the removal on that. We don't have to chump necessarily, we could double block. So which is better? Putting ourselves dead to removal and killing the braids, or holding it back. I think holding it back is better here. So, I'm going to put them to 1. They have 3 cards in hand, because they can't cast that. So, we're not dead to removal. We're dead to double removal, but this has ward, so that's going to be hard to get rid of. Okay, 2 cards in hand. Rona. 1 card in hand. And they die. Alright, really good game. Zambimaru, if you happen to be watching this, GG's. You played really well. I enjoyed the match. And now I have to go take a break, but you won't be a break for you because there's maintenance coming, but for you, you're going right on to game 2, or match 2. See you there. Alright, we're here in match number 2. We've got Noshoba Brawler on 2, and I think that's good enough to just keep, no matter what else the hand is, really. No way to kick Terrace under yet. Shore up to protect the Brawler in the event that it doesn't die on 2 here. Prodigy on 4, ideally now. I think I guess I'm exposing this to, what's it called? Cut down by doing it this way, but I'm also exposing it if I played the mountain there and took a life. So now it's a 2-3. And I think we're just passing it back here. They're not doing anything either. Kicked Vine Shaper Prodigy, yeah. So I would very much like to hold up Shore Up, but we have a very good curve here with Kicked Prodigy into Strider. So I'm not sure we can hold up Shore Up on this Brawler. We have a couple other things we can protect, like the Strider being protected is pretty good because they'll have to use 2 extra mana before we can protect it. So that could be good if they try to remove this. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and kick the Prodigy here. And do we have 2 blue? Yes, we do. Sacred Peaks gives us another toward Domain, but we're still missing the black. If this was like a white-black land, I would probably take it. I know we don't have one of those in our deck, but I'll go ahead and take the Lookout here. And if we draw an untapped blue, we could play Lookout, hold up, Shore Up, which would be pretty good. But if we don't, we'll just probably play Strider. Depends on what they do, obviously, so we'll see. Okay, they got 4 colors now with a Root Walla and nothing else. Okay. No need to use Gaia's Might to get rid of the Prodigy. I don't really even care about mine all that much. So I think I'll go ahead and play Strider here. Hopefully no Essence Scatter. Okay, good. Looks like Brawler is dying now. Okay. They do have priority here, so I don't know what this could be. We can do the Geyser and bounce that, still holding up Shore Up. We could play Talus Lookout, but then we have to tap out on Shore Up. And we're at the point of the game where I'd very much like to protect all my creatures as much as possible here. So I think what I'm going to do is play the Geyser, holding up Shore Up, and Terra Sunder if they play an artifact or an enchantment here. Outrider's pretty decent here, so we'll pass the turn. We'll Shore Up on the Strider if we have to. Next turn we could play Outrider, ping them for 3, and still have Shore Up. Shore Up up. Alright, we will let them resolve the ward first. Then we'll go ahead and protect it. And now we have lethal if they don't do anything. So what does this deal? 3? Yeah, so we have to use this here now. And then play Outrider. They didn't even get to see that we had Outrider, so... Alright, so they're just kind of a domain deck very similar to us with a lot of cards in there. So it's probably going to go relatively late. We don't need cards like Spinner or Colony, I don't think, or this or this. We saw a couple of... So Artillery Blast... Runic Shot's going to get us no matter what as long as a creature's tapped. But Artillery Blast is at instant speed, but Gaia's Might is decent against Artillery Blast. We didn't see a whole lot of removal, but they did have a couple of black sources here, so they very well could have a decent amount of it. So am I willing to bring in another Gaia's Might? At the expense of what? I mean, everything else seems okay. We didn't see any counter spells. I think it seems okay for now. We'll see what happens in game 2 if they present more removal to us. Or any bouncing that we can maybe get rid of a 5-drop and put another Gaia's Might or something. But I'm willing to run this back like it was for the first time. And then have a Brawler on 2 again with Mire and Island. Now we do have the kicker on Terra Sunder. Don't care about that too much. Oh my gosh, we're going to have a 5-3 trample on turn 3. Please let us untap with it. And then we can play Sacred Peaks, hold up, Shore Up, have a 5-3 trample. Now the thing is, if we attack with it, they just double block. And if we use Shore Up, we could kill both of them, but then we get rid of our protection. It is still a straight 2-for-1. It's probably still worth it. They're going to have to use another removal spell on this. And the next turn we drop Talus Lookout, then we drop Outrider, and we're just playing threat after threat, and they just need to play removal. Alright, well they're not even going to do it, so that's fine by me. Makes sense. Gaia's Might really blows them out. So we're just going to protect our Brawler here if they try to go for removal, which they do. Okay, so we could represent Gaia's Might again, but the problem is if they block, I don't want to use Vortex on one of these things. So what that tells me, I'm going to go to combat, see if they do anything. No, okay, so I'm just going to play this. We kind of proved to them that we don't have Gaia's Might in hand now. But I didn't want to use Vortex on one of these if they blocked it. I know we get the 2-for-1, but these aren't the kind of creatures I want to be removing. These don't matter. Prayer of Binding. Let's see which one they get rid of. Okay. That's okay. The Lookout's going to be punishing them in the air. Not to mention, we have Terra Sunder to get back our Brawler at some point if we want it. So, just going to do this here. Put him down to 9. Yeah, for 2 mana, we can just get back our Brawler here. Maybe at the end of their turn, put ourselves with a 5/3 trample. And that should probably do it. They could have some answers, though, so they get about 2 more turns to really play something here. That probably won't do it. Jeez, something stuck there. All right. Quick 2-0 in match 2, and it's been a while since we've trophied. Let's see if we can find the trophy in match 3. All right, we are on the draw here with a suspect hand. Our opponent has already mulliganed once, so I'm going to risk and keep this because if we aren't under a ton of pressure here, we could play Relic on 3 or Treaty on 3, and then have any one of these available for us probably. Although it looks like we are going to be under some pressure here. Gosh, I thought I got rid of that in between games. That's okay. Go ahead and get the treaty going. Ugh, gosh. Well, I said if we're not under a lot of pressure, but boy are we under some pressure here. Something we can do is we can play Relic and also play Geyser to get rid of Rulik Mons for a turn. So, we're not going to get the value out of the Prodigy, but we just need another body on the board here. So I'm going to play this, plus a 2/2. Unkicked, because we just need to be able to block against an aggressive green-red deck like this. And they're probably going to have multiple combat tricks. Oh, God. Okay, well, that's going to be difficult to get through as well. Alright, here come the combat tricks, I'm sure. I can't remember what the, I think we could probably do this too, right? What does Gaia's Might give them? 3? So that would put it to a 6. It would be able to kill both of these. I don't know what they have here, but yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Now, if they attack with Ancient, could go up to a 10/10. We could trade it for all 3 of these things with the Gaia's Might on their side. Delirium Terror. Okay, that's not the end of the world. Well, I think we have to get that last card, whatever it is. Okay, it's just a land, but that's okay. We'll be mana efficient here with another Outrider. Does it have reach? Does not. Oof. Okay. think these blocks are pretty clear here. Gonna have to take 4, but that's okay. They have a good green-red deck. I don't know what Tolarian Terror is doing inside of it, but... Alright, they do have an instant here. I don't know what it is, but we have a 5-3, or 4-3 coming. With Trample and stuff, I'm going to play this one a little slower. And the fact that they have an instant here now. Might be Lightning Strike. No? Okay. We'll have to see. Just, these things both have Trample. I will get in this time. If they play this next turn, do I counter it? Probably not. I don't care about that. I think that's okay. And I'll just trade for it. I know... Yeah, I'll just trade at this point. I think we have a better shot of hitting something more important on that side. Okay. Now their board is clear, and they have a land in hand, and we have 2 creatures down now. And we can protect against a creature off the top here. I don't care at all about that one. And we probably have it here at this point now. Unless they have a board wipe. Which they could. But they don't. Alright. Got the first game here going against yet another domain deck. It's a pretty aggressive one, too. It's a pretty good one. It's got aggressive cards, double Iconoclast. It's also got Ancient, Rulic Mons. I have no idea what Terror is doing in that deck, but they didn't present any removal. So that tells me Gaia's Might number 2 is pretty good. Fire NATO, dealing 5 to something could be okay. It's a little clunky. Timely Interference might not be bad either. Impede Momentum might not be bad. No flyers, so Snare Spinner didn't seem great. So what seems bad here then? I don't think we're winning with cards like Illusionist. I think Fire NATO's too clunky. Maybe just go down to 1 Elfheim Worm. Only 10 creatures, though. This card can't be good, can it? No, that doesn't seem great. Is Timely Interference better than like a Worm or an Illusionist? Right, 3/3 Flyer pressures them pretty well, but if I play a 3/3 Flyer on a board with both of these, I mean, it does nothing. Granted, this doesn't really either. But let's try it like this. And if we lose, we can make some adjustments on the play here. Yeah, so this hand seems okay. What I'm gonna do is play this. So if they play a creature, we can cycle the interference. And now we have all of our ramp. So Iconoclast. Do we just Rona's Vortex that is the question. I think no. Alright, so let's make sure we get our lands going here and that they don't have another Iconoclast off the top. That's fine. They do have Gaia's Might still up though, which gives it +3, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Let's do Relic and Gardener here. And I'm okay trading off Gardener for the Iconoclast. The only thing is we're going to have to take 5 damage to do that if they want a Gaia's Might to trample over. Which is probably okay. Okay, never mind. Oof, that's a good one. Might have to get rid of that one. We know they have Gaia's Might still here, so we're going to have to play around that. Gaia's Might is not quite doing it when we're on the back foot here. I guess we're attacking because we're not blocking with it, so... See if Gardener survives. Micromancer getting another Gaia's Might? Does that kill us? Alright, so they have 2 in hand now. Yeah, so they're gonna go for double Gaia's Might here and push through 8. No, okay. Alright, that's fine. Okay, okay. We're missing these lands and I do not like it. We could play Espionage, and if we hit a land, we can have Vortex. We could play Talus Lookout, but then they have... No, they don't have lethal. They might go double Gaia's Might on the creature that we don't block here, which would be pretty good for us. So, we can waste both the cards in their hand and the creature on the board, get a 3 for 1. Hopefully no Flowstone Infusion. If they have that, we might be dead. No? Okay. Alright, let's see if they go for it here. So 2 of these cards are Gaia's Mights. I don't know what the third one is. What we're going to do here is let them go to attackers. Pass to blockers. Which one do we want to return to the bottom of their library? The land? What does this do? To our creature planeswalking no control. So they're going to go double Gaia's Might on Micromancer here, and we're going to return it to the bottom of their library. Interesting. They're just going to let it happen. They're not going for it. What if we put a Gaia's Might on here? Will they be then incentivized to put it here? Let's try to get these out of their hand. Okay, that's good. Do it again. Alright. Alright, and pass to damage. They can play this again, and let's see if they have another one. So it wasn't Gaia's Might, it was Strength of the Coalition that they had. Flowstone Infusion killing our Saproling. No, they chose not to. Okay. Okay, I don't really care about the Saproling if they try to kill it here. I think I'll let them do that. Oh. Okay, so this is double kicked, so it's going to be a 7/7. So we can pump this using Gaia's Might to have them have no target. Okay, you now control your own Micromancer. We can trade this for a Loam Speaker here. Or we can just play out our 2 creatures. Which is probably just better. Talarian Terror, okay. Yeah, they have a bunch of creatures here. Need not a land off the top. Land off the top. If we attack with this, we lose. So we can't really do that. So go ahead. Their last 3 top decks have been Mindsinger, Terror, and Rulikmons. Pretty good cards to draw off the top of the deck. Goblin Picker is a non-land, so at least there's that. The last 4 cards they've drawn have been these 4. I think if you could stack your deck, you might put at least these 3 on the top of them. They swing out here? Probably, right? Yeah. They have another non-land on the top here. We would go to 1 if we did this. I don't really know the best way to win this game here, though. Okay, go to 1. Find 2 lands. We have had Talus Lookout die 3 times this draft. And we've looked at 6 lands off the top with it. And we were pretty close there, but unfortunately we got them to 5. Could not get them all the way down. So let's see if we can, I don't know, have any better luck in the last time. And Talus Lookout finds us something other than a land at some point here. So this is a huge problem, isn't it? Do we have any better answers to that? No, is the phasing of Zalfir... The phasing of Zalfir might actually be pretty good here. They have just a ton of creatures. And getting rid of things like this and this, making them into 2/2s, seems okay. And our boards are never super, super great. So if we do that and then get rid of like... I don't know, I kind of like everything else. Gardener? But, I mean, Gardener trades with, like, Talus Look or Terror and Mindsinger can hold all that back, but they do have at least 1 Flowstone Infusion, which is horrible for us to have Gardener. This just seems very, very slow. I don't know. Guess we just have to hope we can not find a land off of a Talos Lookout trigger for the 4th time finding 8 lands here. Okay, I'll go first, I guess. And I guess I will keep this. It's a little slow, but lets us counter things on 2 here. Do we play a 2/2 or do we try to get the value out of it? I think we already have a 4-drop, so in the interest of them playing an Iconoclast here, well, if they kick it, it'll be a 4/3, so we can't even block anyway. Scout the Wilderness is okay. We just need to find our lands too. Kind of. That kind of does it. We have the full domain now, but we can't cast Strider yet. Alright, they're on 5. What do they got here? Rulik Mons, okay. Now we can cast Strider. And the draws have certainly gone our way here. I think this is probably going quite well. We have 5 damage to the face here and an extra 5 unblocked damage here to the face. So they're going to get Gaia's Might, and I think that'll probably be good enough. We draw an extra land, an untapped land here. Oh, Infusion to kill this. Okay, that's fine as well. Yeah, so this should probably be game. Oh, they do have Gaia's Might, but that's fine. I don't care. So we're going to deal them 11, and then the Outrider will finish it off. Awesome. Well, we had just about the perfect draw there in that last game, but we finally found our third trophy of the format. It's taken a while, but we got there, and, you know, Domain is good. It wasn't a perfect Domain deck, but we had pretty good draws. Brawler, pack 1, pick 1 is a pretty good pick, and we are a clean 3-0, getting ourselves 2 more play-in points. We are now up to 10 once I click claim prize here. 20, we get to participate in a qualifier weekend. So, thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this daily draft video, and I will see you next time for your daily draft.